typical day for me starts with my commute, which is about 20 feet from my kitchen to the studio where I work in my garage.
I have never regretted my decision, not for a second. I know that it was the right thing for me to do.
You know, I almost feel like I'm still in sort of I'm sort of in the middle of the transition. I don't think it's completely over, but I'm out of the beginning part. So, you know, it's just not quite as tidy, but the attractiveness of these other factors, you know, the passion and the vibrancy and the freedom and creativity, you know, is just so great.
The work consists of actually playing with the clay, and I make designs in the clay, which is a very lengthy process, but I eventually get to where I can string the slices of the clay into finished jewelry.
I've been doing massage therapy for 17 years, and it was my second career. I mostly do prenatal massage in my private practice, which basically is working with pregnant clients, and I massage throughout their pregnancy from when they conceive to when they go into labor, and I love doing it.
And I worked as a graphic artist. I did that for about 10 years before I even had any dreams of doing what I'm doing now. All my life I've been a compulsive crafter. I've always done arts and crafts since childhood, and this particular medium, which is, I'll show you the clay. It's this colored clay that I make the designs out of, and to me it's a very childlike, fun experience of squishing and squeezing the clay and manipulating it. And I took a class, almost 20 years ago with my little girl at the time, and that's how I got introduced to this medium. And it became a hobby that became out of control. That's how I describe it. It just took on a life of its own. So I never really sat down and decided to do it. Although now that I'm full-fledged in it, now I can make decisions on which way to go.
Previously, I was a local government manager, and I spent 12 years working for various different cities in the San Francisco Bay Area. And then I had children, and I spent 9 years raising them. After I had children, something shifted in me, and I looked at that vocation, and I just suddenly, I don't know, I had a perspective change. I decided to just regroup, look at the big picture, and see what else might I be here for, what am I good at and stuff. So I actually hired a life coach to work with me because I heard about these people, you know, and I was like, wow, that sounds neat. I think I'll hire one. All of the deep inquiry that we did in that work led me, I mean, I got to like my 6th session, and I thought, you know, what you're doing here for me is so awesome. I want to try that, you know. And I asked my coach, I was like, well, you know, you think I could do this? And they were just like, duh, yes, you know, totally. And I thought, well, but I could never be as good as you know, which a good coach would never hear, and he did not and would not let me have that. So anyway, I hung up from the 6th call and went straight to the internet and signed up for the coaching classes that he had taken.
The career that I had previously to doing massage, I did for about 12 years, and it was a very high pressure job. At one point I had a back injury, which wasn't a surprise because I was overworking and just not really taking care of myself and not exercising the way I should. And as I took some time off with my back injury, I started receiving massage therapy as part of my treatment, and it was just really transformative for me to receive that kind of work, and I got curious about what it would be like to do massage, and I just, for fun, started taking some classes. And just from the moment I had my hands on someone, I knew that this was something that I really loved. And it just didn't seem right for me to be doing the corporate stuff anymore. It was a big leap of faith for me to switch careers at that point. But I also knew that down the road I wanted to have a family, and I didn't want to have that kind of career pressure. Quit my job, the corporate job, and started seeing clients. Moved to California. I was living on the East Coast, and just started to really make the life that I wanted and that I knew that I would love.
I just love being my own boss, although that carries with it a lot of self-discipline, and I have to force myself to stop working at times. So.
I was excited I was just like, whoa, this looks so good, you know, and, you know, yeah, excited is totally the word. Fear came a little bit later, you know, you actually get it and you're launching and you're starting out and you're like, oh, now I'm a coach, you know, bah! But the prospect of making the switch was just like, I mean, just to even have the idea of something else solidify was huge for me.
It was really kind of scary to make that kind of a choice, but I knew that I had to take some risks and really go for what I wanted, and I was willing to pare back my lifestyle. Also, one of the things I wanted to do is just simplify my life, so I realized that I didn't need a lot of the stuff that I had, so that also felt much more